Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday, and good evening in India and Bangladesh. Chakra balancing. What is it? What are the seven chakras? Why is it important for us to balance our chakras? We are going to explore all these questions in our session with Shazia Omar, a yogi and a celebrated novelist. In addition to being a yogi, she's also a social psychologist. I am Amita from Nourish Talk, a global platform for natural and holistic therapies. It's my pleasure to introduce all of you to Shazia Omar, who's joining us live from Bangladesh. Welcome, Shazia.
Thanks, Amita. Thank you so much for having me on your lovely platform. And I admire the work you're doing, spreading word about holistic ways of staying healthy, especially at a time like this. Thank you.
You're welcome, and hope it's not raining in Bangladesh right now.
Yeah, we had a bit of a glitch last round. So far, it's not raining, so fingers crossed. It is
Great.
monsoon season.
Yes, absolutely. So educate us about these chakras and chakra balancing, please.
Okay, so chakras are energy circles that are located along the astral plane, which is along our spine. And the practice of doing pranayama and visualizing the movement of energy up and down these circles, if you do it over the course of 2 weeks, you start to really feel the difference. What ends up happening is you find yourself very centered. So this is why I've added this little joke here where the cupcake says, find your center, and the donut thinks, oh no, where is my center? But I think we can all relate to this because oftentimes, especially when you go into something like what we've just experienced, falling into a pandemic, there's chaos, there's uncertainty, there was a lot of death around us. So you can find yourself lost, confused, scared, uncertain, especially at times like this, to be able to ground yourself and find your center. That is very important. And for me, pranayama and chakra meditation has been a huge part of being able to cope with this pandemic. So this is just a little bit about me, this slide. I have 2 kids, Amani and Arshan. I work in development where I try and help empower girls. I've written 3 novels, and I'm a yoga teacher since 2004. So for the first time, because of this pandemic, I stopped my classes. Since 2004, I've only taken 2 little breaks. That was after my 2 kids were born. So this was the next break I had to take. And it was a very sad break for me because this is when I wanted most to be with my students to help them build their immunity, especially their breathing and their breathing techniques. So what I did was when the lockdown began in Bangladesh, I started doing videos online, and they're all available on youtube.com at Shazia Omar. So I hope everyone can subscribe to my channel if they're interested in learning. And I've done 150 videos, one every day. So that was a little bit about me. So if we talk a little bit about positive living, there's a lot of different aspects involved, which includes asanas and strength training, stamina, stretch, pranayama, which are breathing techniques, dhyan or dhyana, which is meditation, sleep, which is a very important aspect because only when we rest are we able to empty our stress bucket, which is this if you visualize, as you go through the day, little bits of stress keep piling into your bucket. And at the end of the day, when we go into REM sleep, then we actually start to deplete that stress. So if we're skipping that sleep step, then our bucket gets fuller and fuller and fuller every day if you're not sleeping properly, until finally it's so full that any more stress means you're going to have a nervous breakdown. It's just there's no more space to contain it. Okay, the next is food and nutrition, which is very important. Having a healthy gut is very important. A lot of studies are showing that if you have what they call a leaky gut, if your gut doesn't have optimal health, then that leads to a foggy brain. So your brain's health is directly linked to your gut health. Hobbies and play are very important. A lot of we all suffer from some sort of addictions, and the way to sort of counter that is through relationships and connections. And then finally, chakra balancing is another aspect of positive living, where you can look at each chakra as either as they actually are or as a metaphor or symbol for the qualities they represent, and then address those qualities so you don't have any sort of lacking in your system. So this is a chart that shows us the chakras. Now for Amita, I don't know if you're already familiar with chakras, this may be easier for you to accept, but sometimes people who aren't familiar with the concept, they find it a little bit difficult to believe that we have energy circles like this in our astral plane.
I don't know much about chakras, to be honest with you. I've heard about it, but I really want to understand and learn from you what it means and how can we balance. It is difficult to understand. It is very difficult to understand. So please educate us.
So the chakras have been sort of written about and investigated by the Vedic sages, who were people who spent many hours in meditation to understand the body. And through their meditation, they were able to understand that while we have a physical body that's sort of rough, the cells and things like that, within each cell, within each molecule, there's a nucleus, and then there's an electron and proton going around, and there's a lot of space, a huge amount of space. So although we look solid, we're actually made up of a huge amount of space in which there's energy moving. So when we talk about this energy movement, we're talking then about the subtle body. And it's the subtle body and the circuit through which the energy moves that takes us to an understanding of the chakras. So through studying of deep meditation, these sages have found that there are 7 centers of energy. And actually they line up also with our hormonal systems. We also have 7 glands that are secreting hormones. So if you're a very diehard science, Western science kind of person, and you don't want to think of it as energy centers, you can also think of it as your hormonal centers in your endocrine gland, or as symbolic centers that represent different aspects of yourself. But if you start to meditate on these, eventually you'll come to know it as your own truth, that there are these centers of energy moving inside of you. So it's really quite profound. You can approach it from a space of Western science, symbolism, or actual energy centers, which is what they are. So the 7 go from the base, the red, which is the Muladhara, the base chakra. The next one is Svadhisthana. It's sort of in the reproductive organs. Then the Manipura, which is in the heart, in the navel, it's your digestive area. Then Anahata, which is your heart. Vishuddha, which is your throat. Ajna, which is your third eye. And Sahasra, which is your crown chakra. And each of these have a light that corresponds to it, because if you think of them as energy waves, when you're at your base chakra, they're red. As you moving upwards, you're becoming more and more refined. It's moving towards a more spiritual space, and so the vibration is getting is becoming tighter and tighter till you're coming up to a lilac color. Okay, so we're going to go through each one of these and what their properties are.
Should we move on to the next slide?
Yeah, this slide is perfect now.
Okay.
So each chakra governs a part of your body. Like the red chakra, the base chakra, governs your legs, your feet, your knees, your thighs. And then it also governs a certain quality within you. So for example, the Muladhara, the base, governs your grounding and your sense of security and your survival instinct. So when we say survival instinct, in our world today, this can mean things like, do you have a home? Do you have a family? Do you have money? So often if any of these are missing, like let's say you lost your job and you don't have enough money, you're feeling like you don't feel secure and grounded and your survival is threatened, that can manifest as a pain in the Muladhara region. So in your legs, in your knees, in your feet, in the ACL or the IT band, any sort of physical block in the base chakra region, which is your tailbone and below, is actually a sign that there's something that's ailing you. So it's very interesting how it's interrelated. Your physical body pain and your emotional and psychological body pain and your chakras energy, they're all linked together. Okay, so if we move up from the Muladhara, which is the base, and it's the element of earth. So I like this image because you can see at the base, they've got the flowers and the ferns. It's sort of the element of earth. And then we move up to Svadhisthana, which is the orange, and that's the element of water. So it's got ocean waves drawn here. And Svadhisthana governs your reproductive organs. And your womb, and these are related to water substances. And in terms of psychologically, it's related to your emotions, your sexuality, your intimacy. So an imbalanced Svadhisthana chakra can manifest itself as any sort of problems with enjoying sex or having sensual relationship. It can also manifest as problems in the emotion, maybe emotional blocks. So if somebody is suffering from some sort of ailment in the reproductive region, let's say, for example, prostate cancer or endometriosis, these are ailments of the Svadhisthana chakra, and they need to be addressed through breathing or pranayama or meditation that balances this chakra. Okay, so if we move up a little bit further, we come to the yellow, which is the Manipur. Amita, feel free to ask any questions as we're going along. I know this is a lot to sort of absorb.
No. This is good. This is a great intro. I think a lot of our viewers don't understand different chakras. So this is a great intro. Please finish this. And then there'll be time for question and answer. I'll interrupt. No worries.
Okay. So Manipura is the stomach region. And this, as you can see in this amazing chart, it's got fire. So it's the element of fire. It's the color yellow. And it is in charge of our energy, vitality, our desire and power, our sense of responsibility, ability to get things done. So if somebody has lost all confidence and is unable to get anything done, you will often see that they're slouching. So I'm just going to pull the screen back so I can show you. As a yoga teacher, I see people come into my class and I can tell right away where they're imbalanced. If I'm sitting with this collapsed and this collapsed, my Manipura and my heart are collapsed. You can tell just by looking at someone that, okay, they need to work on engaging this and engaging this, right? But here you go. This person, they're lacking willpower, they're lacking sense of ability to get things done, and they're lacking love or love of themselves. So these are collapsed chakras. Slowly through empowerment and yoga, they can again build this up. So, yeah.
That's fascinating. I didn't know you can tell by just body postures.
Absolutely. When somebody walks into my yoga studio, I can like almost immediately see where their ailments are from the way their posture is.
That's fascinating.
And it is, right? So Manipura chakra is also related to your stomach region. So it's your digestion, your metabolism. So somebody who's, let's say, constipated or got constant acid reflux or having a hard time with digestion, that is also an ailment. It's an imbalance in the Manipura chakra. All right, moving up, we come to the heart, which is the Anahata chakra. It's the element of air because it's the heart and the lungs. So in this drawing, it's like it's got clouds around that area. So this one is, this chakra is in charge of love and hope and compassion. And it's often linked with Manipura, because when you collapse in your ability to get things done and your self-confidence in the yellow region, then you also lose love for yourself. And so these two often collapse together. To heal the heart chakra involves forgiving yourself and forgiving others. And also healing your entire body comes from the heart chakra. So it's really important during a time of corona that we keep our heart chakra, which is also related to our lungs and our respiration. We want to keep this area super healthy, positive, charged. Okay, I'm coming up to the throat chakra, the Vishuddha. This is the element of space. It's communication, creativity, and healing. Healing is also green. It's kind of this area. So communication, it's about like speaking, listening, saying your truth, presenting your dancing, singing, writing. These are all sort of governed by this area, the Vishuddha chakra. And then moving up a little bit higher, you've got your third eye, which is Ajna. It's an indigo color. It rules over your intuition, your imagination, your clairvoyance. It's like the brain region. So your senses, your perception, this is all ruled by your third eye. And as we become more and more in tune with our body, this third eye can give us insight into a lot of different things about our own health and well-being and our circumstances and our purpose. But it's like, you know how we only use a small part of our brain at any given time. So it's that part. This is quite asleep in most people. And it takes a lot of meditation and breathing and awareness to wake up the third eye in order to actually get the power from it. But all yogis, who've been yogis for 20 years or longer, write about how much power the intuition gives us if we are able to nourish it and nurture it. And then finally, we come to the crown of the head, which is the Sahasrara chakra, the crown chakra. And each of the chakras are like a lotus with a certain number of petals. Like the base is 4 petals, and then it comes up 4 petals, and 6 petals, then 10 petals, 12 petals, 16 petals. And this one is only 2 petals, but the crown of the head is 1,000 petal lotus. So you can sort of visualize your energy rising up, the kundalini rising up your Sushumna Nadi, which is that center channel drawn here. It rises up and blooms like light from the crown of the head. So it's just this beautiful imagery of how radiant we can be when we are aligned and lifted. Yeah. So that's this chart. So for each chakra, there are certain things you can do to balance it. The first thing you can do is eat food that is that color. So when we're talking about the base chakra, eating anything red, like tomatoes and strawberries and red cabbage and chili peppers. And then you can also do exercises, like any exercise that works the base region. So for example, here I'm doing a base squat. Squat is using your legs, your thighs, your hips. So it's working that area. You can also do meditation, meditating around the red color around your tailbone. And by doing these things, you can balance your Muladhara.
And then there'll be breathing also. You talked about the squats, but along with that, you would also do certain type of pranayamas to balance the Muladhara?
Yep, exactly. So the breath, it's not specifically one for Muladhara, one for Svadhisthana. Rather, it's like a breathing system that's going to breathe up and down the Sushumna Nadi and work on all of them. There's also chanting. So there's a specific, just like there's a specific color because of the vibration, there's also a specific sound. So the Muladhara chant is Vam. So if you sit nice and tall and just sort of try and feel a vibration right at the base, right where you're sitting, And you can say vam, 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 and you're kind of engaging that space. And slowly, this is how you start to sensitize yourself to feel. So we're really used to feeling on the outside of our body, and inside the body we only really recognize pain. But slowly, through training, we can start to recognize vibration inside the body, inside these energy centers. And so the chanting also helps kind of localize where the chakra exists.
Okay.
Okay, so Svadhisthana is the sacral chakra. It's the orange one. Again, to heal that, you want to eat foods that are orange in color. And every day you want to eat rainbow food. Like you want to have something or the other that is nourishing each and every chakra. So really, when you sit down and look at your plate, there should be a multitude of colors on it. It shouldn't all be brown, for example. And then any exercises that work that reproductive region, the hips and glutes region, the womb area, like this, glute squats, they're going to also help your Svadhisthana chakra. And the sound for Svadhisthana, Lam is the base, Vam is the Svadhisthana. So Lam, Vam, and then the third one is Ram, and then Hum, Yam, Om. So there's a chanting cycle that you can also go into.
But you go in one cycle, like one go, or Om would be separate, and then the other ones are.
Okay, so once we cover these 7 slides, why don't we do a couple of rounds of chanting together? That could be fun.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so Manipura is the belly chakra. It's yellow. And you can exercise it with sort of any core strengthening exercises, like a lot of Pilates is this, or sit-ups, anything working your abs. And then in terms of eating, anything yellow, like bananas and lemon and yellow capsicum, things like that.
I love the way you color coordinated your t-shirt.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Exactly. I did it because when you're doing the Manipura exercise, you also want to visualize the color. So that's why I tried to color code, so I could, the visualization comes alive. Anahata is the heart chakra, and this is a heart opening exercise I'm doing here. So anything where you're sort of really lifting up your heart, most back bends are heart opening. And green food, like green vegetables, these are great for the heart and for healing. Okay. And the next one.
Yes.
Vishuddha, the throat chakra. It's a little bit harder to eat food this color. There's not so many things you can choose from, but there's a few examples given here. Like blueberries are great. They're not available in Bangladesh, so hopefully, do you get them in California? Blueberries?
Yes. We get amazing blueberries. Yes, all the berries.
Super.
Yes.
Oh, nice, raspberries and all strawberries. Okay. So yeah, Vishuddha, also things like humming is very good, and it's good for your thyroid gland, which is the one related to the throat chakra. So like I said, there's a hormonal gland also related to each one. So the throat one is the thyroid gland. So if you have a thyroid gland imbalance, humming or anything that you do to improve the Vishuddha is going to help. So humming also has a lot of qualities of calming the parasympathetic nerves. So if you're feeling stressed out or anxious or angry or depressed, if you do humming, that is going to help relieve all of this. Okay, the next one. The third eye is an indigo, also blueberries. Indigo colored food, again, are harder to find. Like there's certain grapes are sort of that shade. The third eye is also exercised through meditation. So while humming for the throat chakra, meditation for the third eye, and any exercises that engage this spot. And also you can even just by putting your finger here and concentrating on this area, kind of awaken a sense a little bit of a vibration just underneath. And the gland that is linked to the hormonal gland linked to the third eye is the pituitary gland, which is in charge of balancing the body. And it has a lot of properties in terms of, since it's seated in the brain, overall homeostasis is maintained by this gland. So that is also has a lot of healing properties. Okay, the next slide. And finally, crown chakra, the purple in color, any purple foods, and any sort of headstands, handstands, shoulder stands, anything that brings blood in the opposite direction to the crown of the head can help heal crown chakra ailments.
That's beautiful.
Okay,
You're
next
doing
slide.
It's really beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So here it is, the chanting. So, okay, what we're going to do is sit nice and tall. Keep your spine nice and tall. And when we say lam, you're going to try and feel the vibration right at the base where you're sitting. So let's do that 5 times, okay? Lam, 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 lam. You can also engage the base base lock by doing, it's almost like Kegels. You know, you're going to squeeze as if you have to pee and poo and you're holding it in. You draw it in, so you're pulling in your pelvic floor, and then you can sort of feel a little bit of a vibration there. Okay, moving up to, so here we have the base. We just did lam. Now we're moving up here, 3 inches below the belly button to this area, Svadhisthana, and we're going to do vam. All right, 5 vams. Try and feel a vibration there. Vam, 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 vam. Try and feel the vibration there as we do ram. Ram, 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 ram. And just sort of visualize, insert little ball of energy like a ping pong size circling around the belly button when we're doing ram. Now we're at the heart. So visualize this ball of energy circling around your spine, sort of, or that center channel that the energy flows up. That's called the Shushumna Nodi. So you have this ball of energy inside you circling around that channel. And then we're going to do yam, the heart chakra. Yam, yam, yum, yum, yum. And we slowly let that energy circle spiral up to the throat, and it's spiraling around the throat. And the sound is hum. Hum. Feel the vibration right here. Hum, 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 hum. And let this energy circle spiral up to your third eye. And now it's spiraling around your brain. Spiraling around your brain. Feel the vibration in your head and your brain in your third eye, and we're going to do Om. So the third eye and the crown are together. So this whole region, feel the vibration here as we do Om. 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 And that's
Beautiful.
it.
It's beautiful, beautiful. I just wanted to add that there is, oh, these are retreats that you want to talk about. You do in Kosumai and Andalusia. Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, please, come join me one day, Amita, next time I
Yes,
go.
please.
So this was
Absolutely.
supposed to be in October and in March, but because of the pandemic, it was pushed forward. So next year, I will let you know when the dates are, and I hope you can make it to one of them.
Absolutely. So we are open for questions. I see quite a few people have joined. So I see questions coming up. So let me stop the share. If anyone has any, you want to get in touch with us, we have our emails here. And in October, we are coming up with paid workshops. So maybe we can convince Shazia to come back and do some, group workshops as well with us. So with that thought, I'm going to open up for questions. Okay, someone is asking, how can you tell which chakras are blocked? We briefly talked about it in between.
Yeah, that's a great question. So basically, the chakras each represent a physical space and an emotional psychological space. So if a chakra is blocked or imbalanced, you are going to have a pain in the physical space. So for example, if it's the heart chakra, you're going to have a pain in this area. It could either be in your heart, in your breast, in your shoulders or arms. If you have like a shoulder ache, okay, there's something blocked in my heart chakra. Or it can also manifest in the emotional psychological side. So as we said, that the heart chakra governs your ability to give and receive love. So if suddenly you feel like you aren't able to give any love and you're blocked to receiving love, then again, that's a sign that the heart chakra is not balanced. Let's say it's the Vishuddha, the throat chakra. A physical ailment of this chakra can be manifested as a throat ache, a sore throat, a cough. And then an emotional manifestation or psychological manifestation can be that maybe you're unable to speak your truth. So maybe it can happen like this, for example. You're at work, you're feeling like there's a toxic environment. There's somebody like your boss who you're unable to speak up to. You can't talk to your HR. You're feeling this discomfort. It's growing. The toxicity is collecting. Eventually you have a sore throat. It starts to become a cough, so now you have the physical manifestation and the emotional psychological manifestation. This is all gone out of whack. You're going to start to develop thyroid problems. And then, a lot of times what happens is people don't realize their chakra is blocked or imbalanced until the physical side is really bad. And then they just start taking medicine, Western pharmaceuticals. So you've got the sore throat and a thyroid imbalance, and you start taking pills. But you're not actually addressing the fact that you weren't able to speak your truth at the office environment where that toxicity began. So it takes a while to really pinpoint the source. You don't even have to pinpoint the source. You just have to address the chakra. For example, if it was a throat chakra and it's, all these imbalances are happening, and it took me a few months to notice, it's become a sore throat. Now I've noticed. Now I'm starting to do hum, and I'm visualizing this healthy healing space here, and I'm eating blueberries, and I'm doing fish asana, matsya asana. Then slowly, this is going to become stronger again. And suddenly I'm going to find the courage to tell my boss that, you know what, this isn't suiting me. I need to make some changes. You didn't even know that was the source of the toxicity, but by healing the chakra, you were able to suddenly fix the problem. So that's how it works. You notice the block through either the physical or the emotional psychological problem emerging. from the outside, people can also see the block because of things like your posture or your behaviors. So excessive chakra energy and weak chakra energy, both are a problem. For example, Svadhisthana chakra, which is our sexuality and sensuality. If you're frigid and you're not enjoying sex and you're not having, you're not open to sensual experiences, that's a weak Svadhisthana. But an over excessive Svadhisthana, you just want to have sex all the time, or you're out there having non-consensual sex, or you're addicted to sex. So over excessive is also imbalanced. It needs to come to the center.
So there is another question that's coming up in the picture of the 7 chakras. Where are the legs? It's sitting Buddha, so I guess it's part of the base chakra. The one, I think the second second image, where you showed the clouds and all that. I think that's what he's referring to. Or the first one when we showed the slide.
The legs are part of the base chakra.
Okay, so
legs are base chakra. They're the red.
Legs are part of the base chakra, the first chakra that you talked about.
Yes. So the arms are part of the heart chakra, and the legs are part of the base chakra.
Okay, and there's a research that's been done. I wanted to add on if you chant Om, it helps your mental. It invokes. It helps your mental health. There is a research that already has been done on the Om. So that's your third eye and the crown chakra, right? I don't know. I'm not aware of the research that's been done on the other, hum. But I think hum is also pretty intuitive. But I'm not sure if there are other research that has been done on other sounds that we talked about. But Om and hum, I know that there is a research that's already been done. So it helps, is what I wanted to add. And
That's a good point. A lot of scientific research backs a lot of this up, but a lot of it hasn't been done as yet. I'm also not sure about the base chakra or these ones, but Om, as you said, I've also seen that one.
Yes.
Also, a lot of mental health ailments. Western science will have us believe that we have to be dependent on medication. But Eastern science, if we go back to the roots of these sort of Vedic sciences, it says, no, you don't need medication. You can heal yourself, and you just have to empower yourself to do it. So I think Western science takes the power away from us, and Eastern science brings it back to us that we can actually do it ourselves.
No, I think it's beautiful. It really is. So, if someone, what would be a small sequence? I'm just trying to understand. So let's say someone has some issues, anxiety. So it would be Om, chanting Om, and then doing the headstand, which all of us cannot do for sure. What would be the other alternative to doing a headstand? The Shirasana. I'm just trying to understand.
Meditation. So meditation is a really good one for the head. Actions that help, meditation is a really good one. So on my YouTube channel, which I hope everyone's going to subscribe to, I've made a meditation video that is basically for the chakras. And what it involves is you sit down and you visualize each chakra, and you visualize the ball of energy circling around the chakra and around the organs that are there.
So can you send it to me, and then I can circulate it? I think that would be better if you can just send it to me. Or I can go and I can.
I can send it to you. I'd love to. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we have another question that's coming up. Can you show me when you do the 7th chakra, mum? Where do you put your hands? You did the mum part also. Which one was that? Now the mum. I thought the 7th one was.
It's Om. The 7th one is Om.
Om. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's
the hands, basically any sort of mudra. What you want to do is close the circuit. Here, open circuit, energy leaving my extremities. Close circuit, close circuit, close circuit, close circuit. This is a good one. This is the brain. So you know how, I don't know, do you know this? How we have nerve endings in our palms and under our feet, like reflexology. And these are also linked. This is the base, Muladhara. This is the Svadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, and Vishuddha. So this is earth. water, fire, air, and space. So earth, base chakra. If you have the ailment, you can press this. That's another way of addressing that same chakra. Anyway, but the question was about what do you do with your hands? You want to basically close the circuit so that your energy is contained and not going out. So you can put your hands together like this, or any sort of. I often do this or this. Anything where you're closed in, so the energy is staying within you.
Also, there's the concept of mudras. So I think it's all interlinked, right? And the mudras and chakras. So you can do mudras, mantras, and pranayamas, and the asanas all together, right?
Exactly, very much so. And I think it's also important to do what feels right for you. So it's about listening to your inner guru, listening to your own voice. So taking the time to sort of practice meditation and breathing and become sensitive to your own internal guru, which will then tell you maybe this is not the one you should be doing, this is. How do you know? Try each one and see which one resonates with you.
Okay. Any more questions before we wrap up? These are really good questions. I do want to say that, we do at 12:30 p.m. every Tuesday, we have a mudra session for like 5 minutes. And then yes, we do with a very interesting person who was a chef and who's converted himself into a yogi. So we do a mudra and mantra. We have another question coming up I wanted to add. All right, so one comment is that, cool, thank you. Can you please repeat only the last finger? What is the element? You were talking about the 5 fingers and someone.
So there's 2 schools of thought on mudras and the elements. If you Google it, it has different ones than the ones I'm saying. So the school of thought that I'm coming from matches these with your different chakras: base, Svadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, the heart, and Vishuddha, the throat. So then this one, the throat. Yeah. So it becomes earth, water, fire, air, and space. Mm-hmm. So this is space.
Okay. Well, any last comments from anyone? Please help us share these sessions, help us spread the word. We are advocating natural therapies, and help us share. Any last comments before I wrap up? Just want to make sure if, we've answered all your questions. And would you be interested in if we were to do these group workshops that are more involved? Let us know your comment. Every Tuesday chanting, yes. What time? I don't know. I know you're from Sydney. It's 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I don't know what time it is in Sydney for you. But that's what we are trying to do, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think it's 8 something in UK time.
Nice.
Great.
Do you have a schedule up, Amita?
Yes, we do. I can send it to you. So we just do 5 minutes of that. That's it. Okay, great. It's great. I'll send you the links also. And then maybe we can convince Shazia to start coming more often, maybe once a month.
I would love to.
Okay.
This is a great platform. I really appreciate what you're doing here.
Well, we are all trying to help all of us each other. That's all I have to say. And thank you so much, everyone, for support. Okay. So with that, I want to end this session. Thank you so much for the viewers. Thank you, Shazia, for coming. Any last comments before I wrap up with Shazia?
No, that was great. Thank you so much, Amita. I will share the chakra meditation link with you. Yes. And thanks for having me on your platform. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.